Hello and welcome to yoga. Let's begin in a comfortable cross-legged position. You can inwardly rotate your thighs, pulling the flesh away from your sits bones, sitting up even taller. You can even sit on a cushion if you'd like. And we're going to begin here with our 3-part breath. So bringing your hands to your lower belly, begin to take a nice deep inhale. And then move your hands to your rib cage and continue the inhale. And then move the hands to the top of the chest for the last little part of the inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly lower your hands all the way back towards your lap. Inhale, belly, rib cage, chest, and exhale. Again, inhale, belly, rib cage, chest, and exhale. Again, filling up the belly, expanding the rib cage laterally, lifting the chest at the top of the inhale, and exhale. Let's do 4 more. Belly, rib cage, chest, and exhale. At this point, if you'd like, you could just float your hands right in front of your torso as you inhale, belly, rib cage, chest, and exhale, lower those hands all the way back down towards the lap. Last 2. Inflating the belly, expanding the rib cage, lifting the chest. And exhale, squeezing all the carbon dioxide out of the lungs, pulling your belly button towards your spine. Last time, inhale. And exhale, lowering those hands all the way back towards the lap. Beautiful. Hands come back to the knees, and let's roll the shoulders into the back. Just squeezing those shoulders up towards the ears, squeezing your shoulder blades behind you and lowering them down. You can inhale as you lift and exhale as you lower. Let's do 4 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last 2. And let's reverse the direction of those circles. Inhaling back and up and exhaling forward and down. Beginning by squeezing those shoulder blades and then pushing the shoulders forward and down as you exhale. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Now let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears as you inhale. Hold the breath, hold the tension. Open mouth, sigh, and release. 3 more. Inhale, lift, hold, and release. Last 2. Inhale, hold, and sigh it out. 1 last time. Inhale, hold the breath, hold the tension, and release. Very nice. Shake out those legs in front of you. And then separate your legs a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And let's begin with some hip rotations here. So flexing and then pointing the toes, rotating the legs out as you flex and back in as you point. Really exaggerating that motion. Trying to touch the pinky toes on the outside and the big toes on the inside. And let's go in the opposite direction, flexing on the way in and pointing on the way out. Make sure that you're rotating all the way up from that ball and socket joint at your hip. You should be seeing your thighs moving just as much as your shins and calves. And let's shake the legs out in front of us. And let's come back to a cross-legged position. Again, you can inwardly rotate your thighs and pull the flesh away, sitting up nice and tall. And then bringing your hands onto your knees, we're going to do a cat-cow stretch. So beginning by taking a nice deep inhale and arching your back, lifting your gaze up towards the ceiling, and then rounding your back, looking towards your navel, squeezing your belly button towards your spine. Again, inhale, lift the chest, gaze up, arching the back, and exhale, round the spine, look towards the navel. Inhale, lift, and exhale, round. Inhale, opening up that chest, lifting, and exhale, squeezing your belly button towards your spine, rounding your back. Let's do 4 more. Inhale, and exhale. Last 3, inhale, and exhale. Last 2, inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, rounding the spine. And one last time, inhale, and exhale. Coming back to a neutral spine position. So as you inhale, lift your chin up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, squeeze your chin back towards your chest. 3 more. Inhale, lift your chin. And exhale, squeeze the chin towards the chest, feeling that stretch in the back of the neck. Isolating just from the neck, trying not to move the spine at all. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the chin. And exhale, squeeze the chin towards the chest. Bringing it back to a neutral position. And inhale right here. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder. Inhale to center. Exhale over left. Inhale back to center. Exhale over right. Inhale and exhale. 2 more either side. Inhale to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And exhale over the left shoulder. Back to center. One last time, looking over the right shoulder. Back to center. And over the left shoulder. Inhale to center. Now dropping the right ear onto the right shoulder. Stay right here and just feel a beautiful stretch all along the left side of your neck. Try to avoid lifting up that right shoulder to meet the ear. And now go ahead and place your left hand on the ground next to you, allowing that left arm to feel nice and heavy, that left shoulder to drop even further, intensifying that stretch all along the side of the neck. And then go ahead and bring your hand back to the knee, lower your chin towards your chest, and as you inhale, bring yourself back to a neutral position. Nice deep inhale here, and as you exhale, drop your left ear onto your left shoulder. Feel that beautiful stretch now all along the right side of the neck. Make that right shoulder nice and heavy. And then go ahead and place that right hand on the ground next to you. Let that right arm be completely relaxed. And on your next exhale, go ahead and bring your hand back to the knee, drop your chin to your chest, and bring yourself back to a neutral position. From here, go ahead and shake your legs out once more. And now we're working on flexing and pointing. So flex both feet, and let's hold it here for 4 breaths. Really squeeze those toes back towards your face, activating all of the muscles at the fronts of your legs, all of the muscles surrounding the knees. Keep curling those toes back towards you. Lift your heels from the ground if you can. And now point your toes, reaching through the fronts of your legs, reaching through the toes. How much can you elongate the tops of the feet? And let's flex the feet again, curling those toes back towards your face, taking 2 deep breaths. And 1 more deep breath. And then go ahead and point the toes, reaching through the tops of the feet. 1 more deep breath here. Good, and then shake out the legs. And now we're going to flex one foot and point the other, and we're just going to switch 8 times. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, shake it out. From here, let's swing our legs over to the side and come to standing on our knees. And we're going to do our toe ball mound stretch now. So I'm going to face the side so that you're going to be able to see me a little bit easier, but you could stay right where you are facing the front if you'd like. So we're tucking those toes under and grabbing the last few toes and pulling them forward so that all 10 toes are facing the same direction, the front edge of the mat. See how much weight you can sit back onto your heels, resting your right palm on top of your left, palms facing up, and just take a few deep breaths here. Seeing if you can focus that weight over the big toe area rather than the pinky toe area of your feet. Let's take 1 more deep breath here. And then coming forward, tapping your toes out onto the mat. Feels good to tap them quite hard. And then go ahead and take a big step, bringing yourself all the way up to a standing position. Let's begin here with a little standing back bend, bringing your hands to your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your chest, open your heart, and tilt your chin up just as far as you feel comfortable with. Just opening up that heart, taking some deep breaths here. Going only as deep as you feel comfortable. Taking 1 more deep breath. And bring yourself all the way back to a standing neutral position. And with your hands on your hips, let's take a big step back with the left foot coming into warrior 1 on the right leg. Draw your right hip back, press your left hip forward, squaring off your hips towards the front edge of your mat. Really straighten out that back leg, press into the outside edge, that pinky toe blade of your back foot, and bend that right knee right over your ankle. Good, lifting your chest, taking deep breaths. And we're going to do some straightening and bending. So go ahead and straighten out your front leg. And then bend that front leg again, coming a little deeper into the pose. Inhaling as you straighten that leg out again. And exhale, bending a little deeper into warrior 1. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. 1 last time. Inhale, nice straight front leg. And exhale, bend. Staying right here for 1 more breath. And turning our hips and shoulders into warrior 2, expanding out your stance, taking up the majority of your mat, lining up your back foot with the back edge of your mat, making it parallel. And take a look down at your right knee. Make sure it's tracking out towards your pinky toe and not falling in. And your hips and shoulders are square to the side of the mat. And you get to decide if you want to keep your gaze looking straight ahead or if you can turn your gaze over your right shoulder. Keep sinking those hips nice and deep. Keep opening up that right knee to the right. 1 more deep breath here. And let's come into an extended side angle. Rest your right elbow onto your right knee, keeping your left hand on your left hip. And if it's comfortable for your neck, turn your gaze up towards your left shoulder. If not, just look straight ahead. Keep thinking about an outward spiraling motion here, spiraling your chest open and up towards the left. Feel that hip opening up to the left. And then pressing into the feet. Let's bring ourselves all the way back up to a warrior two position. And then straighten out the front knee. Step your back foot about 1 foot's length distance forward, getting ourselves set up for triangle pose. And then hinging from the hips with both knees nice and straight. You're just going to extend that right arm down the right leg. And again, opening up those shoulders and hips. So stacking the shoulders, stacking the hips. Feel that outward spiraling motion, spiraling your left hip back towards your left heel. Keeping that left hand on the hip for support. Think about being flat Stanley, having a flat wall in front of you and behind you and your whole body on one flat plane. Beautiful. And then looking down towards your bottom hand, put a soft bend in the front knee, return yourself to standing. And now we're going to open up our stance even more, making our feet parallel or maybe even a little bit pigeon-toed. And we're going to come into a flat back. So deep inhale, and then as you exhale, hinging from your hips with a nice flat back, reach forward through the crown of the head and back through your tailbone. Notice the upper back muscles activating here, the core activating. One more deep breath. And bringing yourself all the way back to standing with a nice flat back. Let's change our grip. So now bringing your hands behind your back and catching onto opposite elbows. Let's do the same thing. Inhale, and as you exhale, hinge from your hips with a nice flat back, coming back into that 90-degree angle. Ignoring the pull of gravity here. Keep reaching forward through the crown of the head, reaching back through the tailbone. One more deep breath here. And go ahead and bring yourself all the way back up to standing, reaching through the crown of your head as you come up. Good, shaking out those arms. And take a big step towards the opposite edge of your mat. So we're going to do the same thing on the left side now, starting with that little back bend, hands to the hips. As you inhale, lift your chest and open your heart, tilting your chin up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Think about a lifting action here in the chest rather than crunching in the back. Let's take one more deep breath here. And go ahead and bring yourself back to a neutral position. Hands on the hips. Take a big step back with the right foot, this time coming into warrior one on the left side. Squaring off your hips and shoulders towards the front edge of your mat, bending that left knee right over your ankle. Nice straight right leg, pressing into that outside edge, that pinky toe blade of your back foot. And pressing into both feet nice and strong, squeezing up all of the muscles of both legs. And then go ahead and inhale as you straighten out the front knee. And as you exhale, bend that front knee back into the pose. Inhale, press into the feet to straighten the leg. And exhale, sink deeper into the position. 2 more. Inhale, straighten. And exhale, bend. 1 last time. Inhale, pressing into the feet, straighten the front leg. And exhale, bend back into warrior one. And let's turn into warrior two. Opening up your stance even wider, back foot becomes parallel to the back edge of your mat. Take a look down at your left knee, bending it and tracking it out towards your pinky toe. And you can look towards the side edge of your mat, or if it feels comfortable for your neck, you can turn and look over your left shoulder. Sinking the hips deeper into the position. Keep opening up that left knee to the left. 1 more deep breath. And then go ahead and bring your left elbow onto your left thigh, keeping that right hand on the right hip. Opening up your chest, outward spiraling motion. If it feels comfortable for your neck, turn and look over your right shoulder. Keep spiraling your heart open towards the ceiling. One more deep breath here. Pressing into your feet, coming back to warrior two, and then straightening out the front knee, shortening up your stance for triangle. Both legs are nice and straight, hinging from your hips. Lean to the left, and then place that left hand down on the left leg, keeping the right hand on the right hip. Becoming flat Stanley here, making your body on one flat plane with a wall right behind you, right in front of you. Stacking your shoulders, stacking your hips. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can turn and look up towards your right side. Keep spiraling the heart open for one more breath. And pressing into the feet, come all the way back to standing. Now let's come into a wide ballet second position with your toes pointing out, and do a test bend of your knees to make sure that your knees are lined up right over your toes. You don't want to over rotate your feet here to protect those knees. So once you're happy with your positioning of your feet, bring your hands to heart center, and let's do a series of plies, bending the knees and tracking them out right over the toes, making those knees nice and wide, and then pressing into the feet, coming back to standing. Again, bend, press into the feet to stand. Let's do 6 more. Inhaling as you bend, exhaling as you press. Inhaling as you bend, exhaling as you press. Last 4. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Last 2. Inhale and exhale. And this last time we're going to hold it down. So bending those knees. And let's stay here for several breaths. See if you can sink your hips a little bit deeper into the pose. Track those knees out even wider, opening up the right knee to the right, the left knee to the left. Sink those hips just a little more. And then go ahead and press into the feet. Bring yourself all the way back to standing. Good, and then toe heel your feet together. Shake out the body, and let's get ready for our tree pose. So let's begin standing on the right leg, finding your center of gravity, placing your left foot anywhere along your right leg that you'd like, as long as it's not the side of your knee. So lower or higher is fine. And then bring your hands to heart center. Find a single spot on the ground about 10 feet in front of you to gaze at. Squeezing up your core, shoulders drop down and away from your ears. Feel yourself growing taller through the crown of your head. Let's take 4 more deep breaths here, finding your balance. Go ahead and release your leg, shake it out, and let's do the same thing on the other side. Finding your center of gravity on your left leg. Placing your right foot anywhere along your leg that you'd like, as long as it's not the side of your knee. Lower or higher is fine. Hands pressed together at the heart center. Finding a single spot 10 feet in front of you on the ground to gaze at. Squeezing up the core. Shoulders relaxing down and away from the ears. 4 more deep breaths. Go ahead and release the pose, shake it out. And now let's bring our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart for our yogi squat, toes slightly turned out. Bending the knees, sinking your hips nice and deep, drawing your elbows on the insides of your thighs, and using the backs of the arms to press your thighs open as you sink your hips nice and deep into this pose. Hands come together at your heart center. Try not to judge your body for wherever it is today in this pose. Everybody looks a little bit different when doing the yogi squat. So as long as you're feeling a nice deep stretch in your hips here, you're doing it correctly. Shoulders down the back, unclench the jaw, release the muscles of the face. And let's come all the way down to our hips. Shake your legs out in front of you. And let's get ready for our final series here. Move forward on your mat so there's plenty of room behind you to lay back, and catch on behind your thighs with your knees bent. Lift up one foot, and then if you're feeling strong today, lift up the other foot, coming into a boat pose. You can either keep your hands here, or you can reach your arms forward towards your toes, squeezing up those core muscles. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here, really squeezing up that core, keeping the chest lifted. 1 more deep breath. And then go ahead and bring your feet back onto the mat. Good, catch on behind the thighs. Inhale, lift your chest, open your heart, arching the back, and then round your back all the way down to the mat. Once your head touches, draw your feet a little bit closer to your hips, setting ourselves up for bridge pose. Pressing into those feet with the arms alongside the body. Begin with a pelvic tilt, and then lift up the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back, coming into a nice high bridge pose. And then as you exhale, slowly lower your hips all the way back down to the mat. Let's do 2 more dynamic bridges just like this. Squeezing up those lower abdominals on your inhale, lifting up the lower back, middle back, and upper back. And as you exhale, slowly lowering 1 vertebra at a time back to the mat. 1 final time here. This time we're going to keep it lifted at the highest position for 3 breaths. So lifting up that lower back, middle back, and upper back. And once you get to the highest point, stay right here. Keep driving those hips up towards the ceiling. Pressing into the feet, keeping those knees parallel. Let's take 1 more deep breath here. And as you exhale, slowly begin to lower your hips all the way back down to the mat. From here, hug your knees towards your chest, hugging and rocking gently. And then go ahead and place your feet flat on the mat, about the distance of your mat. So moving those feet out a little wider, and then allow the knees to fall towards one another. So the knees are resting together and the feet are nice and wide here. Palms facing the ground. Let's make some snow angels. So reaching those arms out to the side as high as you can, and then exhale, draw them back towards your sides, just like you're making some snow angels in the snow. Again, inhaling as you reach those arms out to the side, going as high as you can. Exhaling, drawing your arms back towards your side. Let's do 2 more just like this. Inhale and exhale. Only going as high as you feel comfortable with today. Last one. Inhale and exhale. Okay, flipping those palms up towards the ceiling. Let's do the same thing 4 times. So we're doing this with both arms, even though you can only see one of my arms. So as you inhale, reach those arms out. As you exhale, draw them back towards your hips. Trying to keep the backs of your hands on the ground the whole time. And exhale, lower those arms back towards your hips. 2 more just like this. Inhale, reaching them out to the side. And exhale, draw them back down. 1 last time. Inhale. and exhale. One more variation. This time you're going to face the palms of your hands towards your hips. So your thumbs are pointing up to the sky. And as you inhale, open those arms all the way out to the side with the palms out. And exhale, draw those arms back towards your hips. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Inhale and exhale. One last time. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment here to rest. Nice, deep, long breaths. Relaxing your chest. Letting your shoulders be heavy on the mat. And we're going to do one more exercise here. We're calling it the backstroke. So inhale, lift your right arm all the way up in front of you. And then as you exhale, lower it down. As you lower it, begin to lift your left arm all the way up. And exhale, lower. Take note of your own range of motion in this moment. It might be a little more, a little bit less. But just do what your body needs today. Don't push yourself too far, too early. Alternating arms, right arm and left arm. And right arm. And left arm. And let's rest right here. Let's draw our arms a little further away from our hips and just allow them to rest. And now we're going to drop both knees over to one side. So you're pinwheeling your knees over to one side. You can keep your neck totally straight here, or if you'd like to, you can turn your head in the opposite direction of your knees. It's totally up to you. Feeling a nice little release in the lower back and in the hips. And then when you're ready, bring your knees back to center and over to the other side. Let's take a few deep breaths here. Option to turn your head in the opposite direction of the knees. And on your next inhale, bring your knees all the way back up. And now we're going to windshield wiper the knees side to side a few times. So dropping over to the right, inhale to center, and then over to the left. Inhale to center, over to the right, inhale to center, exhale over to the left, inhale to center, again. One last time. And coming back to center, let's hug the knees back into our chest. One last time, hugging and rocking. We've come to the best part of our class, our relaxation. Go ahead and extend your legs out onto the mat, allowing your feet to fall outward, your palms to face upward. Let's begin by taking a nice deep inhale, filling up your lungs, opening your mouth and sighing it out. Two more just like this. Inhale and sigh it out. One last time. Inhale and release. Allowing waves of relaxation to wash over your entire being. Completely surrendering to gravity. Allowing all of your major joints to melt into the mat below you. And I want you to imagine a beautiful golden light hovering just a few inches above your chest. And with every inhale, this beautiful golden light is expanding. And with every exhale, it's drawing nearer to your chest. And as you breathe, it gets closer and closer to your chest. As you're feeling its healing, radiant warmth. And finally, with this next exhale, it makes contact with your chest and melts into liquid form. Feel that beautiful, radiant golden light spreading across your chest, running down both of your arms, pooling in the palms of your hands, and radiating out through each of your fingertips. And simultaneously feel that beautiful golden liquid light moving down your chest, bringing health and healing and wellness, filling up each of your internal organs, moving down into your hips and running down both legs, surrounding the knees, filling up the lower legs, moving across the tops of the feet and into the heels and along the soles of the feet, radiating out through each of the toes. And now notice that beautiful golden liquid light concentrating and swirling around in the lower back area. And feel it spiraling up your spine one vertebra at a time, permeating each of the surrounding muscles. Putting your spine into beautiful alignment and moving up even higher now into your upper back, spreading across your shoulder blades and into the uppermost vertebra at the back of the neck. And finally, feel that beautiful golden light entering your cranium. Relaxing your face, your cheeks, your lips, your jaw, the muscles around your eyes and forehead. Spreading around the sides of your head. Relaxing your scalp and ears and into the back of your head. And finally, feel that beautiful golden radiant light reaching up through the crown of your head, connecting you to your own inner divinity, your own inner light, the best version of yourself. Beginning to return now, wiggling your fingers and toes, and hugging your knees towards your chest. Rocking over to your right side. Whenever you feel ready, adopting a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me today. The light and the spirit within me honors and respects the light and the spirit within you. Namaste.